Abusia makwa ba stronko so eba POG Media so yare mekọ political highway ne so highway ne de ensem bebre wo so a yen so ya Japan se be me abedwafo no ahu de ekọ ene de eba na den na ekọ so ewo highway ne so eye emre bi Akuffo Addo eribetu just say he will put his presidency online say Oma Galamsey enkoso na Oma Galamsey koso a Sabrofo no and I can say he will definitely put his presidency online. So when to me anya den Ankele Galamsey and as so when to me anya den enyi Galamsey when to me am fight for Galamsey and I see anon Galamsey no age Akuffo Addo nsa isi an Ghana yensu say Ghana yen kura ye wo mo ba wiase no ebi mo ensa ni ho ebi mo nan ni ho na we na isi anon tension a arise o Jublie house no yes say Akuffo Addo ni failing now fail to want to me and fight for Galamsey no ye ba be impeached Akuffo Addo a enye asem ketwa kura so Adodankwa Akuffo Addo is going to be impeached say want to me and fight for Galamsey abusuya Mr. Solomon e de ho nsem aba betu dia ye bepe say ye be me abedwafo no be me akọ na yakwa akoti ensem a ekọ na answer na ye bekọ no or ensem kan bi afa hye ye comment section like na share ma afofo so ensa into me enka bi aha POG Media so political trending stories are make waves no yenso ya di atum say ye de bebrem medam ase.
Last week I wasn't around. And you are looking great.
Thank you.
Your wife. I am a successful man. There is a woman. So you cannot take this glory to yourself.
I see.
Mrs. Dombo, I'm greeting you this morning.
well, I'll come back to you and start with you on the topic we are discussing. Louisa Kwashi joins us for the first time, but she's a face I'm sure you know. She's a member of the NDC's communications team. Louisa, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, by God's grace.
Yeah, always nice to see you. And of course, Kwesi Adakwa is a member of the Socialist Movement of Ghana. Good morning.
Good morning, Senna. Nice to meet you again and also to interact with your wide audience across the country and the world.
Yes. Great. You can also join us 055 991980 to send us a comment or a WhatsApp message. But if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just use the comment section. I'll read comments from that both platforms. So just use a comment section. Plus, please write the comments in manner which you know I'll read. Well, let's start with the Democracy Hub demonstrations and matters arising. I start from my right, Mr. Solomon also this morning. Good morning once again.
Good morning, Senna, and thank you for having me. And let me take this opportunity to greet all the Movement for Change members across the entire country. You are doing a wonderful job. History will be so kind to all of you that have decided to rescue this country from the hands of incompetence. So very grateful, particularly those in the 5 northern regions and then also the OT and the voter regions. Let me greet my candidate, Mr. Alan Chemante, wherever he is, together with the youthful, indefatigable running mate, Kwame Usudanso, KOD, who is the Elijah of our time, who is shaking the OT regions, who has changed the political narrative as we have in this country, and working so hard to ensure that victory is assured. To start with the topic of the Democracy Hub, right? Let me announce to our viewers that tomorrow at 2 p.m., this is an official invitation to Pan Africa. Mr. Alan Chemante will be holding a press conference at the press center in Accra to deal with this subject matter, the subject matter of the demonstration and Galamsey comprehensively. So all media houses are put on notice that the next president of the land will be dealing with the matter. There has to be leadership. We cannot only be complaining without providing that much needed leadership. Senna, this whole business of democracy hub, demonstration, arrest, remand is the usual political strategy or tactics that governments of the day deploy when they are in a very tight corner. And I'm very surprised that Ghanaians are falling for this whole strategy. We need to ask ourselves why the Democracy Hub people decided to embark on the demonstration. It's as a result of the destruction of our environment. The levels of destructions of our environment is unprecedented, so shocking, unbelievable, just amazing that we would have leaders of this country. First of all, we have the president, who is the commander-in-chief, who is often referred to as Your Excellency. And the reason why we refer to him as His Excellency or Her Excellency is that whatever he does is supposed to be excellent. He's excellent in everything. So His Excellency or Your Excellency Nana Akuffo, the environment is being destroyed, and you cannot tell me that that is the mark of someone that is excellent. Civil society organization, Christian groups, Muslim groups, youth, students, and so everybody in this country has been complaining about where we are as a country. But the New Patriotic Party, and for that matter, the president says that because it's very close to elections, the president that said he was prepared to put his presidency on the line. Fortunately for you, this time it's not even your presidency because you are leaving. He says political expediency will dictate matters now. So he's not going to deal with Galamsey, but rather allow the system to flow. His commentators, the running mate, the flag bearer, name them, all from the New Patriotic Party, are saying, look, in fact, the running mate says they would even provide more accoutrement for them to destroy the environment the more because of political power. So clearly, every reasonable and well-meaning Ghanaian realized that, hey, we are in a big fight. We hear from the parliamentary candidate of the Wasa Menfi East urging Galamseyers to enter the forest. And if they are impeded or prevented by any military officer, they have to deal with that person because the president of the land, His Excellency Nana Akuffo, says no military person must be in the forest. We have to lay the foundation and draw to where we are now so that people will understand that this is only a diversionary tactic. And I'm very focused on the ball. The New Patriotic Party did a very bogus job, let me put it mildly, after the election of 2020, by drawing that lousy conclusion that the party losing some votes in some of the mining areas was as a result of their fight on Galamsey. Said that first of all, Galamsey is an illegality. What we are talking about is simply fighting an illegality. And if you are put there as a government, if you are put there as a president, your only mandate as a president is to protect the constitution of the land. And in protecting the constitution of the land, your core mandate is to make sure that illegalities are not perpetrated on the people of this country. So if you are a president and you are fighting an illegality, and you come back and tell us that because you lost some votes, you are no more interested in doing that, then that is unfortunate. And if you were in a very serious country, by now this president would have been impeached. The process should have started. So he said he's not going to fight it. You go into a report that was written by your own appointee, former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Frimpong Boateng, as the chair of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. He explains to you that MPP losing votes in mining areas was not because of a supposed or perceived fight against Galamsey. In fact, if the fight had been sustained and done very well, the MPP would have gained more votes. So now I've lived in the mining community before. I've lived in Obuasi before. Let me tell you, the totality of population in any area in this country, the number of them that are involved in Galamsey are just less than 5% of any community. When you go to the mining areas, majority of the people are involved in farming. They are not even involved in mining. So according to those that voted against the MPP, their reason for voting against the MPP was that whereas we supported you in your fight against Galamsey, we realized that you only stopped indigents from engaging in this criminal activity and brought in your own people, either Chinese, Togolese. One thing that even annoys me is that the people that are destroying the environment the most, they are not Ghanaians. It will interest you to know that majority of them are coming from Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina. So they don't even have any sense of appreciation. They don't have that soft heart for the environment. Because that is not their country. They are only destroying your country so that they can go back to their country. So the people said, whereas we thought you were doing or preventing Galamsey genuinely, you were only silencing one group of people and introducing your own set of people. Professor Frimpong Boateng, wherever you are this morning, I'm greeting you. The man was so meticulous. He mentioned names for the first time that we have a sitting minister that was bold and looked straight into his own political party and appointees and called them out. He said Gabi Asare Ochidako is involved. Kojo Akroma is involved. Samuel Esiedu Bekwi Protozoa is involved. Ite Kotego is involved. Charles Owusu is involved. Captain Koda is involved. The youth organizer of Chebi is involved. In fact, for the youth organizer, he was bold to go and do the Galamsey right behind the president's residence at Chebi. That's how serious the matter was. So the president, the minister was so bold to identify. If I want to go to Wasa East, he says the former the MP there is also amply involved. He is from the NDC. They are making laws for us. So we are in the known as to the people. In fact, I nearly forgot the name of Vuntimi, but I'll come to that. So Professor Frimpong Boateng helped this country solve the problems for us by identifying all the Galamsey kingpins. All that the president needed to do was to use his title as the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And Your Excellency, he should have only behaved as an excellent person by saving the people of this country. Because what we are going through is an existential threat. So now I cough by heart. I don't know what I've done. It's because of the water. The vegetables that we eat. No one is safe from this melee, because if you say you are not living in a mining community, that is not enough. You will definitely eat. Have you asked yourself the sort of water that is used in growing the very vegetables that you eat? These are all coming from polluted water. Indeed, what even makes the matter so shocking was the fact that in the report, Professor Frimpong Boateng makes it clear that at one point, he together with the president and Sir John, say when someone dies, he say, may he so rest in peace. I will never say may he so rest in peace on this occasion. You cannot lead these innocent ones, come put their lives in such a terrible manner, and you die, say may he so rest in peace. I won't do that. He looked straight into Sir John's face and told the president that the number one danger to our forest is this gentleman sitting down there. At that material time, all that the president needed to do was to have arrested him. Calls for his arrest and prosecution. But the president will not do that for obvious reasons. Because he himself is amply involved in the business of Galamsey, according to Alistair Matthias. You remember that gentleman? That gentleman was bold enough, he was talking loud, not knowing he was reporting to investigative journalists, that every month, with the help of the president of the land, Your Excellency, Nana Akuffo, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, he is able to ship out between $40 to $60 million worth of gold out of this country. This was aired on Al Jazeera, an international media house. You didn't watch it. It's all over on YouTube. You click Alistair Matthias, the first name that pops up is Addo connection with Akuffo. That's what is there on the internet. When it was aired on Al Jazeera, what did our president say? He said he wrote a beautiful letter to Al Jazeera, warning that if they did not take that documentary off air, he was going to deal with them. So I was watching. I believe my president, Addo Showboy, Addo Gagai, he was going to deal with them. The Al Jazeera people wrote back to the president and said, look, we are not just only going to take it off. We are not going to take it off, but if you dare, the rest of the videos you will run. Since then, the president went kaput. So clearly, that is why we are unable to deal with the issues of Galamsey. Now the matter became escalated because either two people thought, oh, we are very far off the effects of Galamsey. Until on the 30th of August, the Ghana Water Company in the central region, they escalated the matter, issued a statement that people living in Cape Coast, Elmina, and the surrounding environment communities were to expect water rationing. Why? The only reason is that Galamsey has caused the Praia River to be polluted, and that the raw water that they were expected to receive at the Asechehiman water treatment plant, they were only getting 40% of it. And that was what alarmed everyone, and that was when you began hearing from the Christian Council. Because remember, the last time there was an escalation, they didn't write. They rather went to the Galamsey site and prayed. They left the problem and went to a different place. Because the problem is sitting at the Jublie house. You don't have to miss it. At your ages, you are getting nearing 80, 75. What else? You have eaten enough salt. All that is left is to speak truth. If you are above 40 and you are afraid to speak truth, you are not worth living. When people are celebrating birthdays, one thing I tell them is that, do you know your days on earth is reducing? Are you celebrating the fact that you are nearing your grave? Or you are celebrating the fact that you are pumping champagne? You are nearing your grave. So from 40 going, all that you have to do is to be thinking about doing good and leaving a good name, legacy. This time around, they realized that what they did in the past by praying could not work because they left the problem. So this time they will issue a statement. Now the Peace Council issue a statement. We have the TUC. TUC is threatening that they will even demonstrate. And a host of people also speaking to the man. My own candidate, Alan, was so hard to the extent that, given the opportunity, anyone engaged in Galamsey will face a life imprisonment. No ifs and buts. Because the people that are engaging in Galamsey are putting everyone's life under threat. So why must you allow them to go unpunished? So with this background, we had the youth of this country say they will not allow their future to be put in jeopardy. And so they would demonstrate. And that was what brought in the democracy hub. Let me say that the Ghana Police Service must not be an institution that is used to thwart our democratic efforts. They must remember that the country has moved since 1971 from being a police force to a police service. And so their only function must be to serve the people of this country. We have moved from the brute. Has to be service. Yes, I have watched a number of the videos of these demonstrators. And let me be frank here that some of them, the demonstrators went overboard. And I'm here to condemn those aspects. For instance, you can't say you are going on a demonstration and you only go and mount 4 posts. Do you know 4 posts? Did you play some before? On the road, you are playing football. Nobody will take you serious. That one I would disagree any given day because it's a serious matter. You are engaging in a very serious matter, and so all seriousness must be shown. But having said that, the energies that have been expended in dealing with these demonstrators by the police and particularly the Attorney General. Remember, the Attorney General is an appointee of the President. And if you read Article 88.2, that the Attorney General will be given such other functions as the President may wish. Is this part of the other duties that the President has assigned to him, that he should just go and put the fear of God into these young ones? If the Attorney General together with the police would expend just 10% of the effort that they are showing today on those Galamseyers and their assigns, mind you, I have shown you those that are doing the Galamsey. It's the big men, the so-called big men up there. The people that you see in the bushes, they are just small fishes who can buy excavator. Those young ones who have the money to buy excavator, who has the money to buy the chemicals that are used to wash these gold. They have nothing. They are not. They are unemployed. They are only looking for means, ways and means to live, survive. But the real, the big men, the so-called big men who are living in Accra, who are giving them all the accoutrement to go and destroy the environment, because for them they have already bought properties in Dubai, in Paris, in New York, in Shanghai, everywhere. South Africa, you go, they have bought it. And all that they are waiting for, they have double passports. If it's not a UK citizen, it's a US citizen, they are only waiting, grab all the money and then catch the next available flight. So the Attorney General, if he's so mindful, would rather concentrate his effort on pursuing those that are causing harm to our environment. See, when I think about the president and how he has behaved in dealing with this whole matter, sometimes I wonder whether some of us were jujued or bewitched. They say the president, and people meet me, my former party members, they tell me, oh, as for the president, he's very good, but people have taken him to Malams, and I said, but if someone is working on you, why don't you work on the person as well? The president is enjoying it. Look, when Akroma mining, you remember, went to Mills Mining Company, they have been given prospecting license, a mining license or permit to be mining around some areas in Samaraboy.
The forest.
They had not been given permit to enter the Tanonimri forest. By the time we could say Jack, the guy went to me was in the forest. So see what the constitutional, the human rights lawyer did as the president. See, sometimes when you are bringing lawyers, because they know the loopholes in the system, he decided to legalize the entry of Wuntumi into the Tanonimri forest by causing the Environmental Protection Agency to send an LI to Parliament, LI 2462, for it to be passed so that the president will have the mandate or the legal authority to be given our forests. for mining activities. That is what our excellency has done. He is so excellent that he looked into the unborn generation, the younger ones, the elderly, the youthful ones, the future of this country, and said, look, what is good for this country is to be giving our forests to people to mine, so that the environmental protection, or the flora and fauna that we all enjoy, the oxygen, will be destroyed and all of us will die. Interestingly, to my surprise, we had members of our parliament from MPP and NDC agreed that this LI must be passed, and indeed it was passed. And just under a year, 390,000 hectares of our forest land were destroyed, which caused the Institute of Foresters to write to the president that, Mr. President, what you have done is to put everyone's life in danger. That was your excellency, so excellent in giving out our forest. So, Senator, we are dealing with a situation where government is afraid that the more we talk about Galamsey, the more the actualization of the 13% that the New Patriotic Party will get becomes so clear. And so what do? Let's concentrate all our energies and efforts on this police matter. Did you listen to the Deputy Attorney General? We are going to prosecute. This is a serious matter. And what even freaked me was a letter or a statement that was issued by the youth wing of the New Patriotic Party, signed by one Salam Mustafa. I laughed. I said, these young guys, do they know what they are about? Do they know what they are doing to themselves? Look, only last year, 7th of October 2023, Senator, you remember there was a popular TV show on UTV. Their showbiz. I think they do it on Saturdays or so. Harmlessly doing a live program, we had youth organizers across Greater Accra forcibly entering the studio that A+ or so have been bashing the government, so they were going to beat him. That is what the youth of today, how they want to spend their energy. Those people were even granted bail, unlawful entry, and unlawful disruption of a program. Those people were granted bail, and now they are walking about free. How much more people that had the intention of demonstrating to save you and I? And you have a youth organizer, he sits down, and in his thinking, calling on the Attorney General to deal mercilessly with these young ones is the way to go. Let me tell all those that have been arrested, they will be out. But woe unto this government for any of them to die. Hey! Like it will be a long night in Zion, in this country. So it's not anything, Senator. It's a diversionary tactics. And tomorrow my candidate, Honorable Lanchawate, will expatiate further on this matter to put it to rest, so that Ghanaians will know what lies ahead of us in election 2024. I end my submission here.
Abusia, when and sama ekoso ewo highway so eye Akuffo Addo na so ayeshi ankasa, he is going to be what impeached. Na sisi ano say impeach Akuffo Addo kra na Dr. Bawumia ono so eba be to Akuffo Addo de Akuffo Addo ye so ono na eba be di Akuffo Addo ade na Dr. Bawumia no kra no ono so no eba Galamsey na, according to sources no ho ebombon Galamsey ni omani mabusia ensem na no odin ye bere abedwafo asese moje pene kokoti sa all the way edemaye aha POG Media so ye bere mase medamase.